Looking to find out what's happening on the NDSU campus? Watch Bison Information Network News every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Cable 1 Channel 70. This student-run weekly newscast covers relevant news and current events, entertainment, Bison sports, and more. Watch BIN News Fridays at 9 p.m., Saturdays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., and Sundays at 9 a.m. on Cable 1 Channel 70.
Bison Information Network News is brought to you in partnership with Cable 1.
Good evening and welcome to Bison Information Network News. I'm Joe Thompson.
And I'm Isaac Deaniston. The NDSU Library will host a celebration for the official opening of the Digital Fabrication Lab. The new lab will give NDSU students access to 3D printers to design and create their own projects. At the event, there will be a live tour available and live demonstrations of how the printers work and an opportunity to meet the staff. The event is scheduled for Thursday, February 7th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the main library, and refreshments will be served. The NDSU Department of History, Philosophy, and Religious Studies is set to host the Fargo National History Day regional competition this year. The competition will take place February 15th in the Memorial Union. The competition allows middle and high schoolers to present their projects and compete for a spot in the National History Day state competition on April 12th at the North Dakota Heritage Center and Museum in Bismarck. This year's National Day theme is Triumph and Tragedy in History. The competition is divided by grade level and by categories. The categories are documentary, exhibit, performance, website, and paper. For more information about the competition, you can contact ashley.baggett@ndsu.edu. An inaugural deanship is being established for NDSU's College of Business. The deanship is made possible by a $3 million investment through the NDSU Foundation and Alumni Association and is named in honor of Ronald G. and K.S. Olson of Wayzata, Minnesota. Scott Beaulier will become the inaugural holder of the Olson Dean of the College of Business. The Beaulier says the Olson's gift is an extraordinary commitment in support of advancing the college's missions and goals. A ceremony to formally name Beaulier as the Olson Dean of Business will be held in April. And now we'll take a look at the weather conditions right now on our Bison Block camera. As you can see right now, the roads are still pretty slick from the blizzard earlier today. Still got some snow on the roads. The snow has been piling up from the updrift and blizzard last night and earlier this morning around campus. And we'll move ahead to this week's 7-day forecast. Right now it's about 6 below, with some clouds moving in through in the night. Tomorrow it's going to be sunny with the lows of 18 below and highs of 4 below and a 10% chance of precipitation. The weekend will be partly to mostly cloudy with a 10 to 20% chance of precipitation, and the rest of the week it's going to be very, very cold with the lows on Saturday and Tuesday reaching 27 below and 29 below, respectively. I don't know about you, Isaac, but that's just way, way too cold. Whenever you see numbers like that and that with those kind of integers, that far below zero, you just can't help but cringe. It's just natural life in the Midwest in January. All right, well, coming after the break, a new degree is offered at NDSU, and the first ever LEGO League competition was held at NDSU. When we come back.
Conveniently located across the street from NDSU's campus, Herd & Horns is the place to go, whether you're looking for a fantastic meal or just a quick bite to eat.
Hi, welcome to Herd & Horns. Are you from the drink right away?
With friendly staff and excellent service, it's a restaurant for all ages. Herd & Horns, your home for great food and Bison sports. Welcome to Bison Block. If you are an NDSU student, you know it well. It's located right across the street from campus. How would you like to live in the same building as Starbucks, Jimmy John's, and Herd & Horns? Bison Block offers high-quality apartments at a very affordable price. For more information, go to our website at bisonblockfargo.com to apply today.
On January 18th and 19th, NDSU was host to the first LEGO League. Students grades 3 to 7 are tasked with building a programmable LEGO robot that will complete various tasks under a set theme. This year's theme is space travel, and along with building their robots, the students give presentations throughout the day on ways to improve astronauts' lives in space. The teams of students compete regionally, statewide, and eventually internationally. Even if a team doesn't reach further competitions, the program's goal is to introduce young students to STEM, as well as building teamwork, problem solving, and communication skills.
Hosting the event is being able to see all of the students compete. Every success is just huge, and there's so much energy and excitement, and it's really great to see.
The winners will be proceeding to the state competition in the beginning of February up in Grand Forks.
The NDSU Department of Modern Languages will be hosting a French film festival starting in February. The festival will be showing 6 different French films with English subtitles, including Felicity, The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales, and My Life as a Zucchini. The festival is free and open to the public, and it runs from February 5th through March 5th. Visit the link below to get more information.
NDSU's Master of Public Health is offering a program called Specialization in Food Safety. The course will educate future professionals to assist in maintaining the safety of food systems, and the program fits well with other majors. During the program, students take courses in biostatistics, epidemiology, environmental health, and many more. Students can now enroll for the program in the fall semester of 2019.
Any NDSU students interested in making their voice heard on campus are invited to apply for student government. Positions open for application include Student Senate, Student Court, and Commissions. Student Senate has available seats in every college except for Business and Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. Applications are due by January 27th at 5 p.m. Questions about the application process can be heard in the Student Government Office in the Memorial Union or by email.
An update on the standoff between a MAGA student and a Native American elder, and why the president will not be giving the State of the Union address on Tuesday.
And a look at a blood test that could diagnose a deadly disease 16 years before symptoms arise. After the break.
The TLMC offers a variety of services for NDSU students and instructors. Class project support is one of the key ways in which the TLMC serves faculty. Technology-intensive projects can provide students with an opportunity for creative expression, enhanced communication, and the development of digital media literacy skills that will benefit them in class, college, and beyond. We realize that there are obstacles and challenges to assigning technology-rich projects, and the TLMC is here to help by serving as a bridge between instructors, students, and the technology. We can help with project planning, identifying student learning and support needs, and developing, coordinating, and delivering project-specific support. Our services include hands-on workshops for your students, scheduled during or outside of class time. Individual and group assistance is always available for students on a walk-in basis at the TLMC lab. With access to a variety of multimedia software and hardware, students can store and work on their audio-video projects over time. Workstations may be reserved or used on a walk-in basis. Other learning resources include project-specific learning links on the TLMC website, our Learning Resource Library, and a lynda.com learning kiosk. The TLMC Media Studio features space and equipment for video recording, studio photography, audio recording, and screen capture. Students, faculty, and staff can make appointments to use the studio and to get help in producing, editing, and publishing their media works. Additional studio resources are also available at Berry Hall. Please contact us if you would like to take a tour of our facilities or visit with us about a project that you have in mind.
The fallout continues from last week's incident involving students from a Catholic high school in Kentucky and a Native American elder in Washington.
Now the student in the center of the controversy is breaking his silence. CNN's Miguel Marquez reports.
Nick Sandman, the high school junior from Kentucky's Covington Catholic High School, speaking out.
As far as standing there, I had every right to do so. My position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips.
The video of Sandman facing off with the Omaha tribal elder Nathan Phillips ignited anger nationwide.
I'd like to talk to him. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing.
Today, the Catholic high school abruptly closed. In a statement, the Covington Diocese says it was due to threats of violence and the possibility of large crowds.
Through this incident here, dear God, our peoples can come together.
No protest today, but a vigil held at the Covington Diocese, attending Trump supporters and Native Americans along with other progressive groups. There was even a moment of unity.
We're in big trouble.
I know. I agree.
And I mean, the people need to take back this country.
Amen. Amen.
And, you know,
and we'll work together to do it.
Nathan Phillips, the Omaha tribal elder, says when the incident happened, he was trying to diffuse tensions between the students and a group of Hebrew Israelites who taunted both students and Native Americans for over an hour before the controversial standoff made international headlines. He's now offered to travel to Kentucky to meet with the students to discuss cultural diversity.
When I started taking those steps and using the drum, it was just spur of the moment. I don't like it to say it that way, but it was just, what do you do now? Here's a moment where something that's really ugly in our society, in America, something that's just kind of come to a boiling point.
The Diocese of Covington, administering the all-boys high school, says in a statement, a third-party investigation is planned to begin this week. This is a very serious matter that has already permanently altered the lives of many people. It is important for us to gather the facts that will allow us to determine what corrective actions, if any, are appropriate. The incident has shaken this suburb just south of Cincinnati.
Nationally, it's huge, but, you know, it's kind of surprising all the friends I have from all around the country that are messaging me about it and asking questions about it.
Meanwhile, Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders says the White House has reached out to the Covington Catholic students who attended the march.
Sanders says if the students come to the White House at President Trump's invitation, any visit will take place once the partial government shutdown ends.
Nancy Pelosi and the House of Representatives have decided to postpone the State of the Union address originally scheduled for January 29th. In a letter written to President Trump, Pelosi explains that the House of Representatives will not move forward with the address, saying, quote, there was no thought that the government would still be shut down. The shutdown is on day 34, and neither side looks like they are going to give in.
As the Democratic field for the 2020 presidential race comes into focus, we're seeing an unusual and surprising trend. The first order of business for some candidates and potential candidates seems to be apologizing. Jeff Zeleny tells us who's apologizing and why.
It's a question the White House is struggling to answer. Exactly where will President Trump deliver his State of the Union address in just 1 week?
There are many ways he can deliver the State of the Union address. I'm not going to get ahead of anything he would announce.
Even though House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called on the president to delay his address to Congress scheduled for next Tuesday, the White House sent a letter to the House Sergeant-at-Arms requesting a planning session, as if the speech were still on the calendar, writing, given that we have lost valuable time over the past week, my team would like to reschedule the walkthrough for this Monday, if at all possible. The White House has even considered the possibility of holding a rally outside of Washington if both sides can't reach an agreement. The brinkmanship is escalating as Senate leaders bicker over rival plans to reopen the government, and all seem dead on arrival.
The opportunity to end all this is staring us right in the face. That's why we'll vote on this legislation on the Senate floor this week.
The American people know that President Trump is responsible for the shutdown, and now they have learned that Leader McConnell is a co-conspirator in the shutdown.
Meanwhile, some of the federal employees actually dealing with the impact of the shutdown, like FBI agents, are warning real-world consequences may be looming.
The failure to fund the FBI undermines essential FBI operations, such as those designated to combat crimes against children, drug and gang crimes, and terrorism.
With the shutdown now more than a month long, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told the World Economic Forum in Davos that he hopes the standoff will be over soon, even though there appears to be no end in sight.
When is the shutdown over?
We all hope that it'll end fairly quickly. I hope that we get this one resolved in relatively short order.
A new book written by a West Wing insider is painting a picture of White House dysfunction even when the government is open. In his book, Team of Vipers, former White House aide Cliff Sims describes a situation that is out of control, including one moment when Mr. Trump lashed out at former House Speaker Paul Ryan for criticizing the president's handling of the white supremacist violence in Charlottesville. According to the book, the president claimed he had helped the speaker in the past, saying, quote, "You were out there dying like a dog, Paul, like a dog." The book appears to be the kind of leaking the president has blasted in the past, like when he tweeted last year, "Leakers are traitors and cowards, and we will find out who they are." One White House official who isn't offering much information these days is White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, who hasn't held a briefing in more than a month. The president says he's behind that decision, tweeting, "The reason Sarah Sanders does not go to the podium much anymore is that the press covers her so rudely and inaccurately, in particular certain members of the press. I told her not to bother. The word gets out anyway. Most will never cover us fairly, and hence the term fake news."
The last we checked, there has not been one held this year, Hogan. Is there any plans to start that back up again, or see Sarah Sanders back up at the podium?
She's going to come back when she finds a reason to do that, because so often it's so funny because the media often tell us that when Sarah Sanders stands right behind me at this podium, why can't we hear from the president?
It's a devastating disease that debilitates around 5 million Americans. Now, a new clinical study hopes to be able to predict if you will develop Alzheimer's. Reed Binion has more on this study in today's Health Minute.
A simple blood test could let you know whether you will develop Alzheimer's disease. According to a new study published in the journal Nature Medicine, doctors may be able to make predictions 16 years before symptoms begin. One of the many changes in the brain is the accumulation of a protein in the blood called neurofilament light chain, or NFL. Researchers are testing for changes in this protein to measure nerve cell loss in the brain. They say the more NFL in the blood, the more brain damage you have. 405 people across the world were part of the dominantly inherited Alzheimer's network. Their NFL protein levels were measured through blood tests, brain images, and cognitive tests every 2.5 years over the last 7. The study is still going on, but 243 people were already found to have increasing levels of the protein. So far, 13 participants have developed the disease. If this clinical trial proves successful, doctors are hopeful it will allow them to start treating patients early. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
After the break, Isaac has sports. What do you have for us today, Isaac?
Well, we're going to be actually talking about pretty similar topics to what Joe and I discussed yesterday in our X's and O's segment that we posted to YouTube yesterday. We'll be talking about NDSU men's and women's basketball against UND over the weekend. Plus, we're going to be taking a look at the NFL Conference Championship games from Sunday.
Both pretty good games.
Conveniently located across the street from NDSU's campus, Herd & Horns is the place to go, whether you're looking for a fantastic meal or just a quick bite to eat.
Hi, welcome to Herd & Horns. Are you from Driftaway?
With friendly staff and excellent service, it's a restaurant for all ages. Herd & Horns, your home for great food and Bison sports. Welcome to Bison Block. If you are an NDSU student, you know it well. It's located right across the street from campus. How would you like to live in the same building as Starbucks, Jimmy John's, and Herd and Horns? Bison Block offers high-quality apartments at a very affordable price. For more information, go to our website at bisonblockfargo.com to apply today.
For the first time as members of the Summit League Conference, North Dakota State and UND faced off in both men's and women's basketball over the weekend, looking to officially reignite the storied rivalry between the two schools. The Bison men's team had their first shot at the Fighting Hawks last Saturday in Fargo at the Shield Center. UND started the game leading 15-3, but NDSU kept it competitive from there. They led by 1 at halftime. In the second half, neither team led by more than 5 points, as the game would come down to the final few minutes of regulation. Dengu's basket with 1:35 to play put the Bison in front 67-65, as you can see right here. And the Fighting Hawks would set up one final push at the end of regulation, but they missed each of their last 5 attempts from the floor, including this shot here, this tip-in, and eventually another shot from about the three-point line. That would also fall short. The Bison win by that final score of 67-65. They're now 3-3 on the season in the Summit League. Dengu had 15 points off the bench for the Bison. They're playing South Dakota State right now in Brookings as we speak. For the NDSU women's basketball team, they picked up a home victory as well against UND at the Shield Center on Sunday. They were led by 5 3-pointers from Michelle Geislerova and 16 points from Emily Dietz as the Bison won 69-57 over the Fighting Hawks. They also had another game this week on the road against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits in Brookings. The game took place Wednesday night, and positives were hard to come by for NDSU. They fell behind 43-14 at the half and trailed by as much as 61 points. Yes, 61 points in the fourth quarter. Michelle Geislerova had her lowest scoring output of the season with only 5 points. Marina Fernandez led the Bison with 9. They'll look to put that game behind them as they travel to Oral Roberts on Saturday. In track and field news, Bison's senior thrower Peyton Otterdahl was recently named Summit League Track and Field Athlete of the Week for the second week in a row. Otterdahl currently owns the world's #1 ranking, yes, the world's #1 ranking this season in the shot put event, and is also best in the country in weight throw. At the inaugural Bison Team Cup meet, Otterdahl took first in shot put as the NDSU men's track and field team won the event over Wyoming and Northern Iowa. Otterdahl is also projected to defend his Summit League Shot Put Championship this May. Last Sunday, the NFL held their 2 conference championship games with the winners advancing to the Super Bowl and the losing teams advancing to the offseason. Beginning with the NFC Championship game, this was a battle from start to finish. It was the Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints down in the Big Easy. It was the New Orleans Saints coming up just shy, losing in overtime 26-23. Jared Goff had 297 yards throwing for the Rams, and Drew Brees 249 yards for the Saints. A Greg Zuerlein walk-off field goal won it for the Rams. They advanced to their first Super Bowl since 2001. Over in the AFC Championship game, it was the New England Patriots taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, and it was a Tom Brady 348-yard effort that would lead the Patriots back to the Super Bowl for the 3rd consecutive season. Patrick Mahomes, a valiant effort for the Chiefs in that game, but his 295 yards and 3 touchdowns were ultimately not enough. This matchup sets up a championship matchup between the LA Rams and the New England Patriots on February 3rd in Atlanta. These teams also met in the Super Bowl in 2002. And yesterday, we talked about pretty similar topics in our X's and O's segment. We talked about the NFC and the AFC Championship games as well as those basketball games. Yeah. But, Joe, didn't we also plug a little giveaway we did on our YouTube channel?
Yes, absolutely. We are giving away a Bison Information Network t-shirt. All you got to do to win one is subscribe to our channel, the Bison Information Network, and comment on that specific X's and O's video where we plugged the t-shirt giveaway, and all you have to do is comment below why you think you should win the free t-shirt.
And we'll take any comments, and you have to submit your comments by next Thursday. I believe it's January 31st that you have to submit your comments so that we can announce the person who won the shirt, and we'll give it to you. Then we'll find a way to contact you from there.
Yeah, and I just got to say really quickly, I thought those two championship games for AFC and NFC were both fantastic, but they did not come without controversy.
Absolutely not. If you want to hear our thoughts on that, you can watch the videos while you're wanting to submit your comment in our t-shirt giveaway.
All right, thanks, Isaac. Coming up after the break, we will give you this week's Bison on the Street.
The TLMC offers a variety of services for NDSU students and instructors. Class project support is one of the key ways in which the TLMC serves faculty. Technology-intensive projects can provide students with an opportunity for creative expression, enhanced communication, and the development of digital media literacy skills that will benefit them in class, college, and beyond. We realize that there are obstacles and challenges to assigning technology-rich projects, and the TLMC is here to help by serving as a bridge between instructors, students, and the technology. We can help with project planning, identifying student learning and support needs, and developing, coordinating, and delivering project-specific support. Our services include hands-on workshops for your students, scheduled during or outside of class time. Individual and group assistance is always available for students on a walk-in basis at the TLMC lab. With access to a variety of multimedia software and hardware, students can store and work on their audio-video projects over time. Workstations may be reserved or used on a walk-in basis. Other learning resources include project-specific learning links on the TLMC website, our learning resource library, and a lynda.com learning kiosk. The TLMC Media Studio features space and equipment for video recording, studio photography, audio recording, and screen capture. Students, faculty, and staff can make appointments to use the studio and to get help in producing, editing, and publishing their media works. Additional studio resources are also available at Berry Hall. Please contact us if you would like to take a tour of our facilities or visit with us about a project that you have in mind.
New Year's resolutions are something that everyone takes part in, but how many people actually keep up with their resolutions?
Bison Information Network reporter Noah Zimmer asked students how their New Year's resolutions are holding up in this week's Bison on the Street.
Job this year, and it's just in better weekly income and stuff, so I would say that it's going pretty well. I'm budgeting better, and just hopefully I can save up all year.
Year's been going pretty good so far. Just got a clicker. They were on back order for so long. My resolution this year is to try to get a 4.0 or at least get on the dean's list.
Well, my New Year's resolutions have been going so amazing. I wanted to do hot yoga, which I am, and I wanted to study more because last semester was so bad and stuff. And now I'm making new friends, joining clubs. It's just amazing.
I'm able to do better at school and concentrate more on school and things that I want to work on. So 2019 is going good.
The end of the month is often when people give up on their resolutions.
NDSU students continue to further themselves and work towards meeting their 2019 goals.
Isaac, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
You know, I'm actually trying to head over to the Wallman Wellness Center here at NDSU and utilize that pool a little bit more. I'm not really much into, the lifting iron part of working out, but I just, I like swimming, and so I kind of want to try to get into that a little bit more this semester.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit more active too. I'm going to start going to the gym more, start running on the treadmill, start doing the elliptical, maybe even lift a few weights every now and then just to try and get in a little bit more shape, you know what I mean?
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But before we go, we're going to take one quick look at our 7-day forecast. And as you can see, Friday it's going to be a high of -5 and a low of -15. Saturday, -3 and a low of -17. Sunday, it's going to be a little bit of snow with a high of -1 and a low of -6. Monday, which is in fact my birthday, it's going to be a high of 4 degrees and a low of -18. And then it's just going to be cold, cold, cold the rest of that week. Tuesday, Wednesday, high of -10 to -27, and a high of -19, a low of -29. It's just, my goodness, that's just cold, cold, cold.
Hey, at least the weather, the people in charge of the weather were so nice to have a high of positive integer.
Yeah,
for
it's
your
going to be in the
birthday.
pot.
They're very considerate.
It was very thoughtful of them.
But
Thank you very
otherwise, the
much.
rest of the week, that's just not looking very good.
But anyway, thank you for watching this edition of Bison Information Network News.
Be sure to check us out on our Facebook and our YouTube page.
And catch us back here every Thursday night at 7 p.m.
Have a great night, everyone.